This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hello, bright soul. Thank you for joining me this beautiful Sunday morning or wherever you're listening to this, at whatever time you're choosing to listen. I want to thank you so much for showing up, and I want to take the time to thank everyone who has left me beautiful feedback, left me reviews on iTunes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate you. And I want to go ahead and just share a little bit about what's been going on. This previous weekend was my daughter's 17th birthday, so we went to the hot springs. We had a nice birthday party, and it was a really busy weekend, but just full of gratitude, so blessed. And that's why I've been a little bit slow to respond to people, just because I was in party planning mode and we were out of town. So I appreciate your patience with that. For those of you that follow astrology, you might know that we had a new moon this previous week. And the energetic climate brought up a lot of secrets and kind of twists and turns for a lot of people, including myself. I kind of chuckled to myself because I'm in it just like everyone else. I had an energy healing done last week, and we were talking about the collective fishbowl that we're all in. So even though we're doing this work, we're still part of the planet right now. And we're experiencing everything collectively because we are all one. So it's really just how we choose to respond to it. And sometimes it gets challenging. And what I've really noticed is so much anger, collective anger, and it can be really overwhelming and exhausting. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been doing to really release that out of my own energy field and keep myself very grounded during this crazy time. So I have a couple of close friends who are really opinionated over the masks, super opinionated and angry, really angry over the masks and people that don't wear masks, and also really angry about the upcoming election. And so I actually have a couple of friends who are just really immersed in it, and they really can't see how they're kind of browbeating their inner circle who already knows their stance, but they're using social media and memes and statistics that support their viewpoint to really browbeat and drive it home. And it's their way of trying to make a difference or use their voice. And what I've noticed is I've had this conversation with a lot of clients, a lot of close friends, even family members, where they're experiencing their own level of someone that's in their inner circle or someone that they're exposed to that's doing the same thing, maybe in a different way or to a certain degree, but it becomes very agitating. And so last week when I was navigating all of this on top of hosting a party and going out of town and, just daily life, I noticed myself getting so agitated, and it would express almost as anger, but I didn't have a reason for the anger. It wasn't coming from anywhere else. It just would rise up in me where I'd be like, gosh, I'm so annoyed. I'm so irritated. I feel angry. And this is with me doing my physical exercise, my meditation practice, receiving energy healings, doing energy healings on myself. So I can only imagine what people who do not have any type of outlet or are even aware of an outlet, I can only imagine how they're feeling. And so it really put me in a place of deep gratitude for the path that I'm on, for this journey, and the fact that we have access to tools to really help us, that we have the knowledge. So what I've really been doing, well, first of all, I'm in a 9-week deep emotional healing through Pranic Healing. Master Co is hosting it. So every week we're taking a different emotion and deep diving and getting the seeds and just residual stuff out of our chakras and our energy fields. I feel like this type of work is really important for me so that I can show up more fully for you. So I've been doing that, and I worked with a private practitioner last week, and I said, I just feel so angry, and I don't really know why. It isn't like me. It's not who I am. And so I was sharing it with the practitioner that I work with that works with people who do healing work. And he kind of chuckled and he was like, Susan, you're just responding to the collective energy. The collective energy is one of anger, agitation, frustration. And he was sharing that he's noticed it in himself and he's noticed it in the people that he works with. And so the reason I wanted to share this today is because I want to let you know that you aren't alone if you're feeling that way. On this path, sometimes we can judge ourselves when we feel like we're not expressing loving kindness. Sometimes we can get very confused and upset with ourselves for human emotions. We're human. And I was sharing with him, I don't want to be a petty person. I have those qualities in me. I share them very openly here. And he laughed and he's like, so you're trying not to be a human person? Because you're human. And it's so true. And I really needed to hear that from someone else. And that's why I want to share it with you here in case you need to hear it. We're just human people who are doing the very best we can. Of course, we are the soul. We're not the body. But we're in a body right now and we're doing our very best to grow, to evolve, and to stay on a higher path. Sometimes it gets challenging. And what him and I worked on and what I want to share with you today is activating the heart center so that we aren't so quick to react, so that we can give ourselves some space to observe our feelings instead of energizing the feelings. So what I mean by that is in pranic healing, we talk about when we go take a certain emotion or a certain event and we think about it and tell everyone about it and talk about it, we tend to make it bigger. Abraham Hicks' work with the law of attraction, what you focus on tends to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It expands. So one of the things it's not conscious that I will do and that I was doing last week was I would feel confused or angry and start wondering, why am I feeling angry? This isn't like me. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to show up. And then I would do the things that I would normally do. I would do a healing, a meditation, exercise, but the feelings were still hovering. I would ask, is this my anger or is it someone else's? Let me see if I can get rid of it that way. Let me do a healing on myself. But what I've come to realize is that we're all in the process of transforming. And so there are very human things that's happened in our past before we were on this path. Most of us probably got on this path later in life. I know I did. So there's things from the past that are coming up to be healed. And we are dealing with being in a collective energy where everyone is going through it at the same time. So it's intense. And what I've also noticed is that sometimes when there's people that maybe you could go to or talk to, they're going through their own stuff. So they can't help you with yours right now. And that's another reoccurring theme that I've heard over and over and witnessed myself. So this is a time for us to really focus on connecting for ourselves to our higher soul and know that this is all part of the plan. We are doing the very best we can. It's okay to have certain emotions. We just don't want to react to the emotions. If we do, then we can pull it back in, regroup. It's a practice. We're not perfect. So today I just wanted to share ways that I've really been working on activating my heart chakra, which has helped me so much. The first thing is doing forgiveness work. So for the people who have lashed out at me, I've been getting internet trolls, which I don't get very often. But again, it's like a collective angry energy. So they're just finding someone on the internet to lash out at. And of course, I do the things to set boundaries that I'm guided to do. Keyboard warriors, that's another word for them. So I've been doing that. I'm going to focus on what I can control and what I can actually do to elevate myself higher so that I'm hovering above this energy and I'm not in it, marinating in it, and getting affected by it. We're still in here, but through our spiritual practice and through activating our heart, we can show up differently. So that's what I mean by that. So one of the things that I love is Palo Santo. I really like it better than sage. I use an essential oil of sage in my clearing spray that I sell on my website. So for my own spray, my blend that I use liquid sage because I personally don't like the smell of sage. I just can't do it. So Palo Santo has similar properties and it smells amazing. Not all Palo Santo is the same. The one that I use that I like the actual smell of it is linked on my Amazon page, which is in the show notes. So if you're interested in the one that I use, you can find it there just in case someone asks me. The other thing that I've really been doing is forgiveness work. And the way that I have a forgiveness process, it's on my website. I'll link it in the show notes. But something easy you can do when you notice yourself getting activated or upset with that person is just put them inside a brilliant ball of light and then turn the light up, turn the actual switch up on that brilliant ball of light to where it's brighter and brighter and brighter, to where you can't even see their physical body anymore. You just see them as a brilliant being of light. And for me, that visualization helps to connect with their higher self, their soul, and realize that they are not the body. They are just doing what they do. They're swimming in their own stuff like most of us, and their behavior has very little to do with me. Usually it has something to do with a trigger in the past, some kind of trauma that they've experienced in the past, and they're taking it out on me, not intentionally or consciously. I mean, it could be, but I like to think that they're just reacting, because sometimes we get triggered and we just react, and we all do it. We're all growing, we're all evolving, we're all making mistakes. So that allows me to disconnect from their behavior and see them as a soul who's just growing and learning and evolving just like me. So that's something I wanted to offer you. I've really been disconnecting from social media, from my email. That's another reason why I've been a little bit slow to get back to people, because my inner well-being and my inner peace is vitally important, because when I am centered and grounded, I can show up and give to everyone so much more fully and from a higher place. But if I'm just overstimulated and getting beat up by the energy of the world right now, I'm not going to be any good to anyone. So I wanted to offer that here, because maybe there's some ways that you need to unplug. Maybe there's some ways where you need to set some boundaries around how much time you're spending on social media, or the type of people that you're around, and for how long you're around those people. I feel right now is vitally important for us to really practice taking good care of ourselves, because to be honest with you, your light is needed so much right now that a lot of people are probably kind of drinking up your light. So you might find yourself feeling like you're fizzling out faster. You might feel like you have to do more meditating, more connecting, so that you can actually keep yourself going and also give to others. I know that that's how I've been feeling. And I know each practitioner that I've talked to, that I work with privately, or just colleagues, they're feeling the same way. And I feel it's important to share that, because if you're not interacting with people who are doing this work, a lot of us are just around regular people who are not doing this work. You might feel like you're all alone. And I need you to know you're not all alone. So the other thing that I've really been doing is yoga poses that focus on opening the heart. And you can find 1 million of those on YouTube, or just do your research, heart opening yoga poses. Breath work. Breath work helps to connect you and breathe prana into your heart chakra, which is vitally important. I know I always talk about breath work. Breath work has been instrumental in my development and just my overall wellness. So that's something you might want to look into. I have a Reiki for clearing out the heart chakra, so I will also post that in the show notes in case you're drawn to that, if you feel like your heart chakra is blocked. But to keep my heart open, what I've really been doing is when I witness experiences that tend to activate me, or I'll be honest with you, I haven't really been getting hooked at all. I've just been very neutral, which is where I want to be. But I think it's because I have been disconnecting a little bit and really focusing on staying connected to my higher self and keeping my heart very bright and radiating out that love energy. So one of the easiest ways to do that is just to notice when you are witnessing things. People who are super angry right now, they're just disconnected. And what they really need is some love and validation and understanding. I'm not telling you to physically do that, but from an energetic level, what I've really been doing is just blasting them with pink energy. So I will imagine my heart sending out pink energy and radiating to them and flooding their entire being with pink energy. Now, I don't want to do it from my physical body. I want to pull it from a higher place. So I will imagine brilliant light coming down from the heavens, going in through my crown and coming out through my heart chakra to that person. And then silently, I will just say to myself, may this person be blessed with so much peace, with so much love, with so much abundance, with so much generosity, with so much kindness. And I will just really legitimately and genuinely ask that that person be blessed. And it helps to activate my heart so big that I'm not getting hooked or activated by their actions. And you're doing a loving kindness meditation essentially for the person. And because we are collectively one, it will really help to soothe you. And it also dismantles the person because you're not matching that energy. And I've noticed when I'm very neutral and just loving and centered, even if they don't know anything about this work, they feel that energy and it kind of softens them. And when you're not participating in the argument, it's really not any fun. So it kind of just fizzles out. They get out their anger, they get out their words, and it fizzles. And this happens without me even saying anything. I've witnessed it in public. I've witnessed it online. There's been other times where I'm directly exchanging with someone and I do this exercise and I notice them just kind of, they just sigh, some relief, and they kind of move on. So this is something you can practice. And then if you're feeling yourself get really angry, because as I shared, I felt this last week and I really couldn't understand it. But what is really helpful is to observe the emotions. Like, oh, I'm feeling angry. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm feeling angry. If you can actually observe the emotion and practice mindfulness without reacting to it or trying to dissect it, which is something that I do. I'm really bad about it because I'm so analytical. I can get very mental to where I'm trying to dissect it and pull it apart, which really isn't helpful. So really just practicing being mindful about it, like, I felt angry, okay. And then if I'm not judging the emotion or energizing it, it just passes through me. And when you actually observe it, you give yourself space before you react on it. So I also wanted to offer that. And I know mindfulness is something that we talk about all the time, and sometimes it becomes like an eye roll because you hear it so much. But the reason you hear it so much is because it really does help and it really does work. This is work. I know it isn't easy. Sometimes it gets exhausting, which is why I have been really spending more time walking outside while I can before it gets cold. I've been doing Epsom salt baths. I've been doing extra yoga at night. I've been doing foam rolling every night, which is kind of just more of a connecting in my body. It's very similar to yoga for me. And just spending more time being with myself and being present. It's very easy to get hooked and pulled. If you're tuning into anything on the internet, news, social media, it's very easy to get pulled into worrying about the state of the future or wondering, trying to project. And everyone's just kind of guessing. And some people really enjoy it. It fuels them. They enjoy talking about it. But for me, I don't enjoy it and it begins to wear me down. So the less that I engage in those activities, the better I feel and the better I can show up fully for doing this type of work. So I also wanted to offer, maybe that's something you'd like to do. Also, for those of you who use crystals, rose quartz crystals can really help you as long as you're cleansing the crystal daily. So you need to clean it so that way it's not full and it can actually help you and it's not contaminating you because it's overflowing with dirty energy. So that's another thing that you can do to help activate your heart, get you into a loving, neutral, and forgiving place so that you can really show up as the higher version, the soul version of yourself, and you can spread that light to others because it's important right now. Everyone wants to know it's going to be okay. That's what everyone is looking for. It's going to be okay. You are loved. You are supported. You will be taken care of. This too shall pass. We're in a pivotal time in history. And it's vitally important that we stick together, that we spread the love, we spread the light, and that we just kind of hold on. It will pass. Life goes in cycles. It's yin and yang, up and down. That's the way life goes. But for me, it helps to remind myself that I chose to be here during this time, space, and reality. Your soul knew it was important for you to be here, incarnated into the flesh during this time. And because of your higher calling to be a light worker, a peace bringer, a truth teller, you are really important and vital right now. So take good care of yourself. Stay centered in truth. And the truth is, you are not the body. You are the soul. And you are a being of pure, brilliant energy and light. So we just have to remind ourselves and stay in that light so that we can continue to move forward in peace and in certainty that we will be okay. We are going to be okay no matter what. You've always been taken care of. You always will be taken care of. In spiritual truth, this physical body is temporary. We are here to make our impact, to fulfill our mission, and then we go back to where we came from. And we can either choose to do it again or not, depending on your belief system. But we do have unseen spiritual helpers, spiritual ancestors, spiritual angels, healing ministers. We've got all of that at our disposal if we just ask. And the more you're centered and connected, the more you can connect with the energy of those who we can't see that are in a different dimension. So I hope that helps. And I want to do a healing today to just really activate your heart chakra. So you can go ahead and uncross your arms and legs if you're ready, and I will turn the energy healing on. And if you can just take deep breaths, focus on your breathing, really go into your body and receive this healing. And you'll probably begin to feel very warm and centered in the loving being that you are. Okay, and so it is. You can come back into your body. Hopefully you're feeling more loving, more connected, embodying the spirit of forgiveness. And that is all I have for you today. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you can do so by going to blendedinsight.com. And I want you to know that during my meditation practice, I blast you with so much love. I want all good things for you, all the best, everything that you want, I want it for you too. I just appreciate your connection. I appreciate you showing up, sharing the love. That's what this is all about. And I know I tell you every week, I'll continue to tell you every week because I can never express it fully because it means a lot to me. So I want to wish you a beautiful week. I hope that you just radiate love and positivity and you feel hopeful because it's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. Let's continue to stay on the path. Let's continue to do our work. We're going to grow through this. We're learning. We're evolving. This is part of it. It's not always fun, but it is worth it. And we did sign up for it. So it helps to remind yourself that, hey, I signed up for this. And I do have guides and helpers and people that support me along the way. We just have to recognize it, remember it, and tap into it. And I'm sending you all my love. Take care. Bye-bye.